Hi, I'm Simon Rushton and this is Taxi Chronicles Podcast. On this podcast, we spontaneously interview unsuspecting passengers with their permission, allowing them to share their intimate life stories and concerns. As our slogan states, real riders, real stories. Some riders prefer to be anonymous, while others ask me to tell their story later on. Either way, there are all genuine 5 to 10 minutes stories, so sit back and enjoy this episode. Morning. It's Simon back here. I'm still working. It's Sunday morning and I've just got a GP in the car by the name of Heather. I called her a Northerner, but she says she's not. She's from Luton. But anyway, beside all that, we're just going to talk about why Heather become a GP, what motivates her, and the changes she's seen over her career as a GP. So, Heather, over to you.
I always wanted to be a GP, actually. It's got my mask on. I always wanted to be a GP, I think, because there's a lot of variety in it. So you can see old people and children and everything in between. And you can get to know families over their lifetime. So I think I always quite liked the prospect of it. But yeah, I've only been a GP for the last kind of 2 years. And it, as I say, has changed quite a lot in the last 6 months. Because of COVID mostly. So I've only just qualified, I would say, kind of 2 years ago. And I was just sort of getting to grips with doing the job. And now, obviously, all of our appointments are telephone based instead of seeing people face to face, which does make the job quite a lot harder.
Yeah, you're seeing a lot more people, aren't you? You're just getting through a lot of the lists.
Just doing it all over the phone, but you also get to pick up information from seeing a patient face to face and examining them. So it's making quite hard work. We do see some people.
Video calls? You don't do Zoom or?
We do a couple of video calls, but I think where I work, it's not a particularly affluent area, and a lot of people don't have the technology to do it.
If you're sick, you learn.
Yeah. Yeah, I wish. So that's been quite hard work. Probably the main change that's happened, and that's been just the last kind of 6 months or so since COVID's happened. It's been quite hard work.
So what motivates you?
To be a GP, I think.
Well, just to continue the profession. It's a very caring profession, isn't it?
Yeah, I guess. I think that's probably
Patience, understandings.
a lot of the motivation. You do get a lot of reward from it, quite a good job satisfaction. And I think I get less of that over the phone than you do face to face. So yeah, I think that probably is my main motivation to continue doing it, is for it's a rewarding, satisfying kind of career. I think a lot of GPs are leaving the profession at the moment.
Really? Why?
Because of the pressures of it, and it's less and less rewarding, the time pressures. I see about 36 patients a day. If you do that every day, that's quite draining. So a lot of GPs work part-time or are leaving the profession completely.
Really? Okay.
Which is a bit of a shame.
But I suppose I wonder how their skill base, what they can take it to. So it's going to have to be something in a medical profession.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people do kind of research type jobs instead.
I was going to say, it's not going to be plumbing, are they? They're not going to be plumbers.
I'd be surprised.
Yeah.
I did have a friend that qualified and then immediately didn't practice, went to Australia and worked in a bar. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe that friend did it because of their parents.
Possibly, yeah. Maybe they were in the job for the wrong reasons. But I do quite often wonder why I'm still doing it. I think the average age for a woman to leave general practice is 36.
Yeah, when they realise they want to start a family.
Yeah. So
And there goes the pay gap.
Yeah, so they kind of spent all those years wanting to be a GP, and then they leave after a few years, which is a shame.
Okay. Do you have patients from hell who call you every day regardless?
Yes,
how do you deal with them?
Patiently. There's usually a reason why they're calling you every day. There's usually some sort of underlying reason, so you have to just try and get to the bottom of it, really.
But if they're calling every day, you must know what their reason is.
Well, they'll often call, with a lot of physical problems, but actually their underlying problem is usually a mental health one that they're not always that willing to see.
Do you think things are always put off, dismissed with mental health? I must be mental health then.
No, I think there's quite a big focus on mental health, and probably the vast majority of what I see is mental health based in some way, especially at the moment, since COVID. I think probably about 2/3 of what I'm seeing at the moment is probably mental health rather than physical health.
Okay.
And there's nothing wrong with that necessarily.
Last but not least, quite a very short interview. What's the impact you want to have on the world?
Gosh, that's quite a big last question.
Yeah, gotta make it go big or go home kind of thing. Yeah.
I would like, especially at the moment, the world to be a bit of a kinder place. I think that's all I try to do, is be kind to people, be kind to my patients. So that's probably the legacy that I would like to leave, really.
Kindness,
yeah.
And I'll just throw in one last thing. If doctors or GPs are leaving because they're seeing 36 patients on average a day, what about those nurses who are seeing that in A&E? They're probably seeing more. So why are the doctors complaining?
I think, the doctors are seeing those patients in A&E as well. And I don't know, there's necessarily I don't think the doctors in A&E are necessarily seeing that amount each, if you know what I mean. The collective amount running through A&E is high, but there's more staff there to kind of distribute the work, and it's a bit more of teamwork, so with the nurses as well, and the doctors and all the other professionals, whereas I think in general practice you literally sit in your room all day by yourself, so it's a lot more isolated, and you take a lot more of the and I think to go wrong. So there's that responsibility to it as well.
Well, thanks for that, Heather.
You're welcome.
It's been interesting. Have a nice day.
You too.
We hope you liked that episode. Keeping in mind, we never know who we're going to interview. We post twice a day, 8 a.m. and 5 p.m. GMT. Have you ever considered the future economies to invest in? Why not listen to our sister podcast, Africa Investor Stories? Considering Africa has the fastest growing economies and population on Earth, and has done for many years, it holds 30% of the world's known natural resources. We publish twice a week, Tuesday with a guest investor, and Fridays talking about investment, politics and history, providing a clear understanding for any potential investor.